Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give, and today's message is really one that I have to continuously remind myself with, which is ultimately that the right path isn't going to be all rainbows and sunshine and amazing, as much as we want to envision it that way, and we want to believe that when we're on the right path it's just going to be perfect and we're not going to have any challenges and it's just going to be pain-free. As much as we want to envision that, and I think that all of us can get trapped in that mentality of thinking that, hey, if it's meant to be, it's not meant to be painful at all. It's meant to be really easy. And I myself am kind of like in a transition of sort of working out what my belief is around this. And ultimately, it's why I wanted to share this message with you guys today, because ultimately, the sooner we get comfortable with the uncomfortable is the sooner we actually stop getting in our own way by having these beliefs that everything should be perfect, and if it's not, then we need to reassess and make a different move and go on a different path. And ultimately, the more comfortable we get with the uncomfortable, the less of an option that's going to be for us to take ourselves off a path that's actually right, but it's actually just uncomfortable. And the reason something is uncomfortable to us is because it's unknown. And the only real way to empowering ourselves to a new level is to take a leap of faith into the unknown. And that's scary for most of us, for all of us, really. You know, it's human nature to want to stay comfortable with the known, and it's scary to get really uncomfortable and venture out down a path that is definitely unknown. It's dark, it's scary. We haven't been there before. We haven't tread that path. We don't know our capabilities, because who we are right now when we're dealing with the fears of, before we take that step into the unknown, is somebody very different to the person that we are going to become if we have the courage to take that leap of faith and move in the right direction. And I think all of us have had the experience where we've been really scared to make a transition, make a move, or maybe a transition has just kind of happened to us, a death, a breakup, a health challenge that it's out of our control. And ultimately what we can see when we reflect back on that moment in time, we can see that, yes, okay, it was really scary and we didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know how we were going to handle it. We didn't know what we were going to get faced with once we ventured into the unknown. But ultimately, now that we're on the other side, we can reflect back from this new empowered vantage point and definitely see that we've grown, that we can be proud of ourselves, that we made it through, that despite our fears, we still did it. We still moved in the right direction, and we learnt something. We grew in some way. We became more aware of our capabilities to handle whatever challenge we're faced with. And ultimately, that is the continuous journey that each and every one of us are on. Some of us more than others. Some of us want to seek out the challenge so that we can grow, because we really value our personal development. We value our fulfillment. And I know for you guys out there, if you're watching a video like this, and I know you're that kind of person. So if you really want to grow and develop, we need to realize that it's never going to be an easy path. And that's the point. We've all heard that, pressure creates diamonds. It's that same sort of thing, that if we want something new, if we want a change, a new level of empowerment and fulfillment, we have to do something we've never done before. And ultimately, that means we are definitely going to be faced with those scary, dark, unknown paths that don't feel like sunshine and rainbows. In fact, sometimes the right path can be the most painful path. And that's because you're changing, you're growing, but you've got to get out of the mindset that, because who you are right now, you might not be able to handle it. But as soon as you take that first step, you generate a new level of courage, a new level of strength, a new level of trust within the self, so that you are developing as you take each step. You are developing into a higher version of yourself who can handle the challenges. It is your job to believe, trust, and have faith in yourself that you will grow as soon as you take that first step, and you will continue to grow, and therefore you will always have exactly what you need. You will always have exactly the amount of strength, courage, and ability to really handle the next challenge should you choose to move forward, instead of staying stuck and defeated in all of the limiting fears that each and every one of us has to go through and experience, and ultimately, really have the courage to overcome that and move forward. That's my message for you guys today. I hope that it reminds each and every one of you who may be struggling right now, and you're starting to fall trap to those doubts, those fears, those insecurities. Am I on the right path? Do I need to make this shift? All of these different things. I want you to take a moment, take a deep breath, and really ask yourself, is it that this is not the right path? Am I discovering that I've been lying to myself about something? Or am I just resisting the unknown? It's scary and my fears are coming up. But actually, if I'm really honest, I know deep down this is the right path. I just have to do some stuff I've not done before, and I'm having difficulty getting over that fear to really have the courage to move in the right direction. So you are the only person who knows the answer, and you always have the answers within you. Should you slow down, take a deep breath, and really dig in deep and get out the truth. So hoping that this is resonating with each and every one of you guys out there. Hope it's met you at a perfect time where maybe you are faced with some challenge and some fear and some doubt, and now it's got you realizing, hey, just because it's uncomfortable, just because I'm experiencing some pain, does not mean that I need to shift gears and change my path right now. But it does mean that I do need to check in with myself and see, hey, is this the right path for me? Or am I trying to find some sort of excuse or way out of the pain because it's become too scary? But ultimately, deep down, I know that I'm on the right path. I just have to take the next step and the next step, and have trust and faith that I will generate a new level of courage, strength, and inner trust that will get me continuing down the right path. So I'm going to check in with you guys now and see who's been able to join me. I would love for you to drop any questions, comments, feedback, anything that I can engage with you right here, right now with. And definitely, if you guys haven't already, what are you doing? You've got to come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. 2,500 people it's coming up to, I think, and they're just incredible, and we are all stepping it up to that new level of our potential. And if you want to be part of an incredible community that both supports and challenges you to get to your next level, then you must come on over and join us. And now's time for me to check in with you guys. So who have I got? I've got Dustin and Lisa and Alonia and Craig and Ron and Faisal and Jeremy and Brandon. Awesome. And Kuipers and thanks for your kind words there, Brandon. And Dana. Got here early. I'm living this. Awesome, Dana. I'm so grateful to have you, and thanks for joining live. I always love it when you guys get to join live. It gives me so much more energy than just talking straight to the camera. And I've got Keith from the UK. Awesome. And Caden and Peter and Carlos and Hisham and Frank and Peter and Jessica and Josie and Dana. The harder is, the better it will be. The harder it is, the better it will be. Yeah, like the more we are able to, like I said, get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And the way we do that is we actually focus on the value that the challenge brings us rather than the pain or the loss or anything like that. We focus on what we're going to gain as opposed to what we're losing. And that ultimately allows us to build a better relationship relationship with the uncomfortable so that ultimately we can grow, quicker and just continuously. And that is the pathway forward to empowerment. So appreciate your words there, Dana. And Mike's here, and Nadine and Philip and Max and Jolene and Casey and Jed and Mo and Chris. You made my day so much better. Oh, you're so welcome, Chris. And likewise, I always love seeing you join. And Amir's here, and Nadine, so agree with your statement. It isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but one thing I have learned, forget the mistake, remember the lesson. Oh, I love that, Nadine. Absolutely. Forget the mistake, learn the lesson. I love that. That's awesome. It's so empowering, and it's so true, because we can focus on something we can't control that disempowers us, or, the mistake, or we can focus on the value of everything. There is always, everything is in duality. We always have the positive, the negative. It's where you choose to focus. And my, hope for each and every one of you guys out there is to choose to focus on the thing that motivates you, that empowers you, that energizes you, as opposed to the thing that, limits you, and completely de-energizes you. So I love that, Nadine. Thanks so much for being here and for sharing. And Chris and Shay and Leroy and Alexandria, I absolutely love having you guys here. And Nadine, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Absolutely. And Jed, much patience is needed. Yeah, definitely. Patience and courage, courage to not, want to stay stuck and limited in that comfortable zone, which ends up being really uncomfortable because you're never fulfilled. And ultimately, have the patience with yourself to work through your fears, your limiting beliefs, everything that holds you back. And don't try and fast track that, because it throws you off course. And ultimately, I love that you're bringing that to the conversation today, Jed, to have patience. And in particular, I would say have patience with yourself. Remember, life is a long-term game. When we shift our mentality from gotta have it yesterday to, okay, I'm here for the long haul. I'm just going to be consistent. I'm going to be patient. And I know that I will chip away at this and I will get there. That is where everything in my life completely shifted, and I actually started seeing results. So I really encourage you to do the same. Thanks, Jed. And Kuipers, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. And Lisa, you're so welcome. Thanks for being here. And Hamza, you're welcome. And Theonel, you're so welcome. And Carolina's here. And Keith, sounds like you're talking directly to me. I love that. Love that that's hit you at the right time. And Frank, it's easy to get caught up in waiting to take action until you know it's a guaranteed success. Yeah. And that is like the worst thing that all of us do at some point or multiple points, is thinking, oh, if I can just get that little bit more certainty, that little bit more, certainty around the fact that I will succeed no matter what. And we ultimately miss our opportunities. We miss our opportunities really to grow ourselves, because whenever something's scary, and we check in deep down and we know it's the right path, we're just terrified, the more you can dive into that without having to find more certainty and take more time and get the guarantees like you're talking about there, Frank, the more we actually fast track our success in the long run, because we generate huge amounts of courage, self-belief, and trust within ourselves that we can handle it by jumping into those experiences and having faith. So I love that, Frank. Thanks so much for sharing that. And Nadine, I'm loving that you're loving this. And Johan and Octay and Richard, and loving that you're finding this very true, Leroy and Abina and Darren and Isolate, you're welcome. And Lorraine and Spady, oh, much love to you, Lorraine. Thank you. And Dana, so true. The end result will be the gift of happiness. Yeah, so, that's a whole nother conversation, but I actually like talking into choosing fulfillment over happiness, because happiness I see as a fleeting emotion. So we can choose to engage more in happiness and by living in our values and all of those sorts of things. But true fulfillment comes from experiencing the full range of human emotion from sadness to happiness. They all, when we can experience fully and engage with every emotional across the spectrum, can I talk today? That is ultimately leading us to true fulfillment. So I love that. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts here, Dana. You are so appreciated. And Jessica, the hardest and most painful experiences I've faced have taught me and shaped me the most. You're always spot on, Vanessa. I love the lessons you bring and always so valuable. Thank you so much, Jessica. And I so absolutely appreciate you sharing your experience here. I love that you have got that consciousness around the fact that the most painful experiences have taught you and shaped you the most and given you the most opportunity to grow into the next level of your potential. So I love you sharing here, Jessica. Thank you so much. And Nadine, you are so welcome. And Liam and Bobby and Jose, hi to you. And I'm so grateful that you guys have been able to join. But I hope you catch the recording because I'm just about to sign off, and I really hope that each and every one of you guys got a ton of value from today's message. I hope it gave you some empowerment, it gave you some reassurance that maybe you are on the right path. Just stay with it, stay strong, check in with yourself. Whenever we have doubt, it's an opportunity to check in with our truth and see whether we are fully in alignment and we're just kind of finding some excuses because we're really terrified, or maybe we're not on the right path, and that comes from taking that check-in point with the truth absolutely again. And loving that you're finding fulfillment, a good word there for what you were meaning there, Dana. And Ian, thanks for joining. I'm about to sign off, but I am sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today, day or night. I hope it's amazing. I hope you're doing something phenomenal, and you're definitely using this message to gain that next little step towards your limitless potential. And if you haven't already, make sure you come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. We want you to be a part of it. So definitely come on over. And hey, Rashad, awesome to see you. Catch the recording, get a ton of value. And I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.